Hi, my name is Deanna, your fave stylist, and I'm the owner of Melvira's Hair Studio, located here in Tucson, Arizona. And I'm also the founder of Growth Initiation, which is a division of Melvira's Hair Studio, where we educate about all things beauty and beauty business. Today, I would like you to take a moment to like and or subscribe to our page, depending on where you're following us. That is greatly appreciated. What we're going to get into today is going to be what is best for me when I'm coming fresh out of beauty school, or maybe I want to do some type of career change as a beauty professional. This could even reference to massage therapists, tattoo artists, and things like that, that also in their industry do booth rental and commission and things like that. So typically when you're coming up out of beauty school, there's about 4 different things that you can do. You can jump onto commission to kind of get your feet wet without worrying about still having to pay booth rent if you're not making enough money. You can also do booth rental, which allows you to move and groove how you want to. You're not necessarily someone's employee, but you're a 1099 person, contractor, and you get to make your own schedule. You come and go as you please, do what you like to do. And then there's also salon suite as well as salon ownership. I've been blessed to be able to do all 4 positions. So I'm going to use this time to explain it to you from my experience. I've got a few notes here to kind of help me to stay on track. We're going to go through the pros and cons of each one. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly, and I will be happy to help answer any questions if needed. Okay, so let's jump into it. Commission. I started off doing commission. I did commission on doing boulevard braids in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And I also did commission when I first became a full-blown cosmetologist out of beauty school. And what commission did for me was it gave me an opportunity to kind of get my feet wet in the beauty industry while I was building my confidence, while I was gaining exposure to be around other professionals that kind of knew the ins and outs of the industry. And it was very, very helpful, okay? So some of the pros of working in a commission position, you have stability and in most cases, a guaranteed income. I will not say that there's always a guaranteed income, and that is because if you're working at a salon that's not really, really busy, and you're not out there promoting yourself, you're not going to make any money. Typically, whenever you're on commission, that is it. You're going to get paid your 50-50, your 60-40, whatever you guys decide on. You're going to get paid that percentage. And if you're not bringing clients into the salon and they are not a busy salon that's promoting for you, then you may not make a lot of money. Or maybe the salon is busy, but you're only focusing on certain services. Well, it may take a while for you to build your clientele. I would suggest that you get a side job. For myself, when I first got started here, I worked at a call center called RMS, where we received and intercepted telephone calls for AT&T. And I did that from 6 a.m. in the morning until about 12 noon, took a little hour break. And at 1 o'clock to 8 p.m., honey, I was braiding hair, I was twisting locks, I was doing weaves. And if I wasn't working, I was hitting the pavement and going to network and advertise for myself. Whenever you're a new stylist, side note, you need to be working a minimum of 8 hours a day. If you're not in somebody's head or behind somebody's chair or waxing somebody's eyebrows or whatever, you need to be working on your social media, and you need to be hitting that pavement and going to go and show your face to local businesses and other services that people do. Maybe a massage therapist, maybe a barbershop that doesn't twist hair or do color or whatever. And they have people that often frequent them and they ask where they can get that done. Network, get out there and know the other beauty professionals that are in your industry. Okay. So sometimes it gives you stability because you don't get penalized if you have the clientele or if you don't, but you have the possibility of not making money. So you're going to have to do something else. Or if you have a lovely husband or significant other at home taking care of the bills while you build your clientele, you can spend that extra time advertising and networking, just for example. Okay. The next thing is training and support. Commission does often come with opportunities for training and support, because legally you're an employee if you're doing commission, and when you are a employee, W-2 employee, you do and should expect training from the place where you are at. Now, little side note, sometimes you're going to run into hair salons that are going to let you be commissioned up under the table because they don't want to have to work with all that paperwork and FICA and unemployment and all those other beneficial paperwork things that you have to fill out. So what they're going to do is work with you under the table just a little bit, but they're going to say, hey girl, you can only do this commission for about 6 months, and then after that, I need you to hit the ground running, okay? But sometimes you're in a boomerang situation and you jump into that, and they do provide support and training. Even if you get to a salon that doesn't provide support and training, try to get connected to a salon culture where they go to hair shows together, where they don't mind teaching each other, where the girls or the guys are into education. Try not to get you in a place where they train you to become kind of in a rut where you don't want to grow because the people around you are stuck doing the same thing. Because looky here, birds of a feather flock together. Whoever you rub shoulders with, you know, your top 5 people, I don't know if y'all know about that, that's another video. Your top 5 people typically demonstrate what type of person you are. So get yourself in a salon with some people that are movers and groovers and shakers and growers, okay? And that offer training and support. And if they don't, then they seek it out as a culture, okay? For example, here at Melvirus Hair Studio, we like to go to hair shows together, and about once a quarter, I'll have somebody come in and educate the salon, even if it be myself, on some type of subject, okay? The team environment, working in a commission salon can foster a sense of camaraderie and collaboration with other stylists. You're gonna find this in booth rental as well. I think one of the most important things as an up-and-coming stylist and as well as an experienced stylist is the camaraderie in the beauty salon. Typically, the salon suites have been getting very, very popular within the past 10 years. And salon ownership is very, very desirable. Everybody wants to be a boss. Everybody thinks that salon ownership automatically means lucrative income, freedom, and all of those things, but we will get to that. The team environment is something that is very, very, very valuable. You would be surprised the things that you would learn by just being exposed to other experienced stylists and other stylists that have a growth mentality. You have less business management on commission because the salon owner is going to handle marketing, scheduling, and other administrative tasks. Typically, whenever you get ready to do your taxes, they're going to hand you a 1099 that said, hey, this is what I paid you all last year, ... If you're an employee setup, they're going to give you a W-2 and it's going to say you withheld this amount and ... Okay? Bookwork is not fun. So you can take advantage of that by being on commission in certain situations. You do also have the potential for high earnings. If you're a highly skilled, highly professional stylist with a strong clientele, you can earn a significant income through commission. Typically, in my experience, those stylists that are highly professional and highly skilled are the movers and the shakers, and they typically want to be off on their own or they want to do booth rent. But those movers and shakers that are independent and self-starting will do commission if commission comes with really, really good benefits and things like that. So it just really depends on what salon you're at. Okay, the cons. So sometimes it could be limited earning commission because you could be at a salon that says, hey, once you get to 1,000, we gonna cap it right there, and then your commission is either gonna go down, or it's like that is your commission, that's your max, and then they taking the rest of your money, and then it's a corporate thing, you know. So you do have less control over pricing. You may or may not have flexibility with the pricing, but that may be a good thing, because typically as a salon owner, if I have somebody on commission, you're typically on commission because you're a new and amateur stylist, and I cannot, have you charging $3,000 for typically what one of the more experienced stylists charge, or what I would charge, but you're just getting started on it. We do have to work with integrity when we're dealing with the public and consumers and having them coming in and taking advantage of our services. We don't typically want to charge more than our current worth, okay? But that doesn't mean you can't grow and get there. All right. You do have the pressure to upsell if you're on commission. Typically, if you're doing commission like for retail or things like that, you're an employee and they're going to expect you to sell and do the retail. Hopefully you will get commission from the retail that you sell. Then there's the potential income fluctuation. So if business is slow, your income may be affected. But if business is booming, you will be doing well. In those situations, you typically want to be advertising and promoting for yourself, even if you are in an employee type situation. And then there's less autonomy. So that means that you have to adhere to salon policies regarding scheduling, client booking, and product usage, which means typically they'll be training you in the way that they want you to do something and you have to follow those. So in my personal opinion, commission isn't a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a thing, just like the rest of them. And you have to figure out what works best for you. For me, I didn't want to stay on commission because I knew I could make more money on booth rental. In my situation, that's how that worked out. And that was my goal, to get to that spot. Okay, so the bad thing about it when I was on commission was when I got comfortable towards the end of that time frame when I did commission, I started getting more busy and I started seeing how I had to give the salon more money than if I had done booth rental. But it just balances out that way, because then I would have a week where I wouldn't have anything and I'm like, phew, good thing I don't have to pay booth rent, but I also didn't make money. So if you're going to jump into booth rent, we're getting into that now. You got to be a mover, shaker, groover, self-starter, okay? Because you never want to have one of those weeks where you got sick, where you didn't make your quota for your clientele, for you to pay your bills and all of that. You're going to have to get into doing a break-even analysis so you know that, okay, I need to do 20 clients at $200 a piece in order to make sure that I get paid X amount of money and I get paid enough for booth rental, products, supplies, uniform, my bills at home, and my booth rental. Okay, so keep that in mind. Break-even analysis, you want to keep that in mind. Booth rental, you need to do that. You probably should do a break-even analysis for commission too, but booth rental, you really better be on it, because you're gonna have a quota to the amount of clients that you need to do. It's more independence, but also more responsibility. So the pros, you can set your own hours and you can set your own prices. So you can come and go as you please, as long as that booth rent is paid at the end of the week. All right. You have flexibility. You can come and go as you please. Your child has a doctor's appointment. You can call your clients and say, hey, Miss Barbara, we're going to have to reschedule. I got to take my baby to the dentist, and unfortunately, it's an emergency. I can see you at 6 a.m. in the morning, so I can be with her to the dentist by 10 a.m. Okay. You have creative freedom. You can run your business as you see fit as a booth renter. Now, that gets kind of touchy, because when you have a salon culture that you're trying to fit yourself into, and you run your business opposed to that culture, you may want to second guess if that's the salon where you want to be at. Still, the camaraderie and the community within the salon matter whenever you are a booth renter, because you want to be around like-minded individuals. Now, I feel like that because there are some booth rental places where they have 20, 30 different hairstylists and or beauty professionals that are renting from them, but there is no sense of community or camaraderie in the building. You walk in the building, everyone is doing their own thing, and if it's not their client walking through the door, They don't welcome them. They don't say, hey, how you doing? And you could just be standing up at the front of the door for a good 10 to 15 minutes, and then you got to pull out your phone and text your stylist, and then your stylist comes downstairs from upstairs at her booth like, oh yeah, follow me up here. You know, if you're okay with that kind of wing it type situation, you're going to, or not even wing it, less professional situation, you're gonna want to consider that if you're going to do booth rental. Maybe you want to make sure that you're at a salon where the people value teamwork. Okay, typically here at Melvira's Hair Studio, I try to hire women that understand and value teamwork. So if Bianca is running behind, then maybe Suzette will come over and she will shampoo Bianca's client to help her get started, to help her get caught up. You know, maybe Ariana will blow dry my client for me because I'm running behind in styling and I had somebody conditioning. So I try to hire people that do not mind working together, and we try to cultivate that. But every salon doesn't do that, and neither is it necessary. Okay. Your potential earnings are all up to you. If you a hustle bunny and you really want to be out there getting it, you can get it, you can have it, it is yours. But also in that same exact way, if you are not the type of person to go out there and get it, you're not going to get it. Okay. You got to be promoting yourself, advertising. If you get blessed to be at a place like Melvira's Hair Studio, we actively promote for you because we want our booth runners to be able to take care of themselves. We want everybody to be able to make money because it's not a happy salon when everyone isn't making money. Okay. The bad thing about it is your expenses. You are responsible for all costs, including tools, inventory, marketing, advertising, all of those things. Education is not a given, but if you're at a salon like Melvira's that does offer, you know, workshops and classes, then that's a benefit. Benefits, you are responsible for your own benefits like health, life insurance, dental, vision, your retirement accounts and things like that. If you do get with a salon that would help pay towards those things, praise the Lord. Sign up. Support. Sometimes you may have less support from the salon owner or the other stylists. There are hair salons where people have nothing to do with the beauty industry at all, and they're just in it for lucrative reasons or maybe a hobby. They have some extra money. They purchased a building and started renting out spots just to make some extra cash. Typically, those people can't educate you, nor do they have a desire to do so. So you want to be mindful of that. And sometimes the salon owner they just don't offer education. I've got the space for you. You guys are on your own with education. Learning, you're responsible for your own continuing education. Taxes, you are responsible for collecting and paying your sales tax. If you're in a place that allows you to do retail, you're going to have to work with the state to get your retail paid and all of that. And that is a good conduit because whenever you become, I don't know if conduit is a good word. That's a good segue. Because once you start getting into retail taxes and things like that, that's also something that you have to be worried about whenever you are doing salon suites. So my experience with salon suite, I forgot with booth rent, sometimes you gotta go. It's usually due at the end of the week, and most salons are going to automatically deduct it out of your account now in the age of technology so that they don't have to chase you down and say, hey, where's your booth rent? And then you got some people that do the old school way. They come in and they collecting everybody's envelopes at the end of the week or whatever, and you got to see them face to face. For me, automatically online works because I'm a busy hairstylist as well. Okay, so back to salon suites. That was a good segue into that. Salon suites, it is a growing part of the beauty industry. So salon suites can be cost effective, flexible, and it does allow you to build your own brand. There are certain limitations to that. You could do booth rental and still grow your own brand, but you can kind of solidify that brand a little bit more within your space if you're salon suite renting. In my opinion, I grew so much to where I needed an assistant. I needed additional stylists to take the clients that I could not take so we can keep servicing people. And in my salon suite, I was in a larger one in a solar salon, and I wasn't allowed to have an additional assistant because the assistant needed to fill out an application to be in the building and blah, 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 blah. So that may be a limitation to you. I started trying to hire additional women to take the surplus of clients that I had, but because my space wasn't big enough for both of us to work together at the same time, then on off days, Sundays and Mondays and Tuesdays, I would have my extra stylists in there doing hair braids and or locks, but that ran me into an issue to where I couldn't train them properly because I wasn't in them. They needed that exposure from me being new stylist. So I got to the place to where I was like, okay, we're gonna wait till we get a bigger building, which we have now. Okay, so the pros of it, let's get back on track. You can rent a salon suite without paying a large amount of cash or down payment as you would for a big building like this. Typically, you would be needing to pay first and last month rent and a deposit for a place like this. And your rent would be per square footage, which starts getting things a little bit more complicated. And then you've got your outside grounds that you have to take care of and so on and so forth. You may want to try to avoid those things. So it can be cost effective to go into a salon suite and get started. And it is usually already equipped for you to work. It's got its cabinets, it's got its sink. Twist them this way, they got the sink, and then you twist them that way and you got your blow dryer, and then I twist them this way and I style them, so. And then it's a flexibility. You can schedule what works for you. Some salons offer 24/7 access. For me and my solar salon, I had a little code. I can come in and go as I please. I could be in there 24 hours a day if I wanted to be. And that was very, very helpful. You can personally brand it and showcase your unique styles, your skills, and build your own brand. When I keep saying build your own brand, it's not that you can't build your brand within somebody else's salon. But for example, Melvirus Hair Studio colors is gold, pearl, York plum, and some stylists already kind of got their logos and stuff set up, and it's red, green, and yellow. They're like, this don't fit, and I don't allow them to brand their area because it doesn't match with my salon aesthetic. That's an example of what would maybe limit you as trying to do your brand. The next thing is going to be all profits are yours. Once you've paid your bills, you can keep and or invest all your profits and make your money. But you got to make sure you make your money. You got to be a mover, groover, self-starter, hustle bunny. You control the customer service, so you can treat your customers to your standard of customer service, whether poor or bad. But typically, when you get in other salons, like when people walk through the front door, people may say hello, may not. You're in control of how that works with your client. The cons: limited personal time. Being a salon suite owner is very, very, very similar, has a lot of similarities to being an actual salon owner. You are a full-blown entrepreneur. You are the orderer. You order the things. You distribute the things. If you're making products in retail, you are doing inventory. You are scheduling clients. You are rescheduling clients. You are doing the continued education. You are doing your books. If you don't have an accountant and things of that nature, and you are the cleaner, you clean up and all of that good stuff. If something goes wrong in the salon suite, maybe you're responsible for it, maybe you're not. It just depends on the contract that you guys have set up. You might not be able to leave work at the end of your shift like you can at a regular salon, because if something goes wrong, you're going to be the one that's got to take care of it, fix it, glue it back together, turn this hair that was supposed to be blonde back from blue, and it take you an extra couple of hours. Okay, so those are the pros and cons of salon suite. I did that with Solar Salon for about 4 years. I did booth rental for about 4 years. And I did commission about, I'd say a total about 2 years. But I have been a salon owner since 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, what? Yeah, 12 years, baby. This October make 12 years. I had to count it because I always say the wrong number when I'm not thinking about it. But 12 years I've been a salon owner of Melvirus Hair Studio, and I think that it is a good thing to truly value people's time. I don't like in the beauty industry or any industry when people do not value your time. I've been in hair salons where I walk in and they shampoo me, condition me, and they condition me for another extra 30 minutes. I'm always getting a complimentary deep condition to give the stylist time to catch up, which that happens sometimes, but communicate with me because I got other stuff I could be doing. All right. Owning a salon offers the pros: creative control, building personalized client base, and the satisfaction of running your own business. Whew. Sometimes that ain't worth it, but a lot of times it is, being quite honest. Okay, so here are the pros. You have creative freedom. Okay, you can design your salon aesthetic. You could choose the services offered. You can set the overall vibe to align with your vision. Yeah, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It gives you more things to manage and take care of, but it's a beautiful thing when you can pull it off successfully. You have client relationships, so you begin to learn to network and foster relationships with clients, potential clients, surrounding business owners and just entrepreneurs in the community. You have to learn how to foster relationships that help support your business and also support other people's business, because if each one took care of somebody, then all of us would be taken care of. That goes in business too. I believe it. You get to be your own boss, okay? You set your own schedule. You make decisions independently. You don't have to answer to anybody, and you reap the full benefits of your hard work. However, if you don't work hard, there are no benefits to reap. Team building, you have the opportunity to curate a team of talented stylists, and you decide what is positive and negative in your environment. It's very empowering, but also can be very stressful. The potential for growth, team building, I skipped that. Your opportunity to curate a talented team of stylists. I did say that. Potential for growth. You can expand services. You can add locations. You can develop your brand to a wider clientele. All great, 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 great things. And now we get into the cons. You are responsible for everything. Okay. When I tell you everything. For example, when COVID hit, and it scared all of us to death, literally scared us all to home. I had stylists quitting left and right for financial reasons, personal reasons, spiritual reasons. And what ended up happening is I had to stay in the salon. I had just had a baby, and I had to bring my baby's pack and play up in here. And looky here, we had to work it out. And I had to keep the business open to keep everything afloat because the rent did not stop. For that reason, I have restructured the way that I do booth rental, because as a salon owner, you have to be very cautious in whom you choose to work with, and that hire slow, fire fast. If you ever have any experience with doing hire fast and fire slow, you will learn the definition of that saying. Okay, so you're responsible for everything: rent, utilities, staff, salaries if you do an employees, your marketing, which can be significant, staff management challenges. That's been one of my biggest challenges, is hiring, training, and managing employees. You have to address conflicts and maintain morale. For me, whenever I have personal issues going on at home, it trickles into the salon if I'm not very, very careful and prayed up. And so I have to be mindful of my self-care. especially mentally, to make sure that my negative that may be going on or may not be going on at home doesn't trickle into the salon. You will run into issues that you never, ever, ever in a million years thought you would run into, like hygiene with stylists, like stylists bickering with each other for things that happened outside of the salon. This lady charged me this much. She told me she was going to charge this much. All of these things, I could go on and on about those issues, but that's another video. Now we are way more selective about who we bring in. If I get a bad vibe, it's a no. Unstable income. So fluctuations in client traffic can lead to inconsistent revenue, making budgeting difficult. I think the best way to handle that is to not live outside of your means, even within your business. I don't want to go into too many details. The video's already turning into a 30-minute-er. So unstable income is something because you want to take care of your people. You got to make sure that everybody in your salon has everything to work. Maybe it was a week where the sink went out and you had to take a couple extra $1,000 to get plumbing done, or so on and so forth. It's just a lot more responsibility. So just as much as it can be lucrative, it could be not lucrative. You may work long hours depending on the type of salon you're running. Sometimes you may have a stylist that is a booth renter or employee or hourly or whatever, and they have literally messed somebody's head up. At the end of the day, you are the owner. People look to you. When somebody messes up something that's a booth renter, they want to speak to the manager. They want to speak to the owner. So in that, you got to be careful who you are hiring and who is coming in to represent your salon, whether they're building their own little personal brand and having their own creative freedom or not. You really want to make sure that the people that you bring in match your vibe, your culture, your vision, your goals. And once you find out that they don't, you have to politely let them go on their way, and don't hesitate, because child. Okay? So your competition, you will have to navigate the competitive market with other salons. I don't really believe in that. I feel like if you're doing what you do and you're doing the best that you do, then whatever is for you is going to be for you. Now, I think your biggest competition is yourself. You should also always be doing better than what you did the day before. Regulatory compliance, that is your licensing, health and safety requirements that are typically mandated and regulated by your state board of cosmetology or health and safety, whatever they have in your state. So you're gonna be the person that's responsible for those things. You're also responsible for those things whenever you do salon suite rental, depending on the contract that you have with the person that you're at, the place that you're at. And all in all, my opinion of salon ownership is typically where most women and or men in the beauty industry think that they want to go. But when I was in the salon suite segment of the industry, a lot of my peers were salon owners that was tired of regulating employees and their issues, that just did not desire to be working with people who did not move and have to get up and go like they had. So they ended up pulling all the weight anyway. And I'm not going to lie, there are some days, like today is a Monday, and typically if I'm not teaching a class, I'll be here doing clients, and the other stylists are off on Mondays most of the time. I enjoy that peace and that one-on-one with my client, and I did enjoy being in salon suites and just being able to cater everything to that client at that moment, from the space to ordering them food if we needed coffee or whatever, to the music that we played. I know this client loves Aretha Franklin, so she's gonna be Aretha out the whole time she's in there, and I could just cater everything just to them, and I could take my time. And if they like silent service, then we could be quiet the whole time, and it's okay, without a bunch of mess and noise going on. And if they want to talk, we can talk, and they have the privacy to share with me whatever they want, thus building that relationship. And that was with salon suite. So everybody's got their good stuff. Every position's got their good stuff and their bad stuff. It just depends on where you're at. I also loved whenever the reason that I reopened and did a salon coming out of Salon Suite is because I missed the camaraderie. I missed the going to the hair shows together. The place where I was at had women going to hair shows, but I didn't get invited. And it just used to break my heart. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to open my own salon and we're going to do hair shows together and we're going to learn together and we're going to share with each other and expose each other to different things in the beauty industry. And I've been successfully blessed with that. So everything, all of these positions have its good and they have its bad. You just got to kind of learn more, figure out what works best for you. And just make it work. And when it's not working, don't be afraid to change it. If you're in salon ownership and you're like, this is too much, I don't want to have to deal with all these different personalities, I'm overwhelmed and overworked, I don't have time for my kids, I don't have time for my significant other, I don't even have time for myself, and I'm still working, you can scale it on down. You can be a salon owner and not be in the salon and only work 1 day a week. You could be a booth renter and work 3-4 days a week and just work like a nurse and do 12-hour shifts and get it all done and then have the rest of the week to spend with your family. You could work 9 to 5 doing booth rental and just stick to that. You could do commission and work 9 to 5 and just say, hey, I don't need a bunch of extra money. I'm just gonna do this 9 to 5, make this couple $100 a week, and I'm all right. You could do commission and have a job on the side while you're building up to get to booth rental. There's so many different ways to do it. Okay, so I hope that this has been helpful. Again, like, share, subscribe. Follow me online, Deanna, Your Fave Stylist D, and or Melvira's Hair Studio. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email is yourfavestylist@ymail.com. That's urfavestlist@ymail.com, not Gmail. This segment of growth initiation has been very, very enjoyable. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch and listen. And I will see you at my next educational event. Have a good day or night.